Previously on the Lupe and Royce show.
Michael Jordan, when he went to the arena, how did he get there? He drove a car with a motor in it.
Here we.
All right, so you got the Motor City. You got Henry Ford. There's your. That's
okay.
Your, you got Henry Ford.
Okay, so
we ain't got to bring Hank up.
Let's focus on Henry Ford, right? Because again, everything that Detroit brings to the world, right? It's a downside to it, a serious downside. Okay. Now, Henry Ford's
downside to all greatness, man.
Henry Ford basically reinvented slavery. I'm going to just put that out there, right? That he just, the assembly line.
Michael Jordan.
The Lupe and Royce show is a Say What Media production.
That was pretty good.
What's up, y'all? This is Lupe Fiasco, and I left half a chicken in the microwave last night, and I'm thoroughly upset with myself.
What's up, man? This is Royce the 5'9", and I can't lie. I'm kind of surprised that Lupe uses a microwave. That's interesting. We can get more into that once we get into the show.
And this is Tom Frank, the regular guy. This is episode 38, folks, and I am donning my Wizard shirt tonight. Because we got another big game tonight. We're filming on a Wednesday, so if you're listening to this on Thursday, I'm either thoroughly excited or the season's over for my Washington.
Now, is that a Wizard scrimmage jersey you have on there, or?
What do you mean scrimmage? This is an actual jersey. Now, I have an old jersey. It's John Wall, who doesn't play there anymore. However, this is the jersey I wore to the game on Monday night, and they won, so I had to keep it. On. It's been on since Monday.
No problem.
That's how that works. As long as you wear the jersey that they won in, that they'll continue to win.
That's my reasoning. Yes.
No other variable though. Like nothing else has to do with it, right?
No, it's just purely my shirt.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure your shirt is emanating winningness.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Now, unless somebody runs through the door and strips the shirt off me, I do expect a win tonight.
What if you run through the shower? How does that work? Do you get under the water?
I did take it off. I placed it on my desk. I placed it on my desk, so nobody would touch it.
Shout to John Wall. I did a show in DC, and I did the after party, and John Wall came to the after party. I think it was him. Young kid,
He's
right?
He's a big shoulder dude.
Black.
He's black. Yes.
Okay. It might have.
He's
been
most
him.
definitely black.
I wasn't there.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
Might have been him.
I wasn't.
Yeah, shout to DC, man. But y'all gonna lose. And no.
Why you say that?
DC. I mean, why would you win? You don't have a snowball's chance in hell. Who y'all playing?
Philadelphia 76ers.
Maybe. Man,
their big star Embiid is out this game, so we got a fighting chance. Yeah, we were down 3-0. Now it's 3-1.
I didn't know. Wait, y'all were down 3.
3-0. No, 3-0 in the series.
Okay.
So this is the last 3-0 in the series, best of 7. So it's 3-1 now.
Are y'all still the Wizards? Weren't y'all the Bullets at one point?
Oh yeah, I liked the Bullets. I liked that name better.
Y'all the Wizards now though. Shout to the Washington.
Too violent.
Shout to the Washington Wizards and all of the teams in the NBA. Good luck. I didn't know it was the playoffs. I don't really follow basketball crazy, but good luck to all the teams that are in there, including Tom's Washington Bullets.
I like the Wizards better.
Wizards.
Yeah, you do?
I like
the Bullets
because I'm a wizard. I don't like bullets. I don't like bullets. You know what I'm saying? That's like bullets is more like a Chi-Town type of thing. What you was about to say, Tom?
Bullets.
We're not.
What I was gonna say. Now I know.
Hold on, Tom. Royce, we're not carrying over last week to this week.
Oh no, this isn't from last week. This is just life for me.
We ain't finna just. You're not finna just like disparage my city.
I wasn't
because you lost last week.
I wasn't disparaged. I love your.
Especially with this. I don't like bullets. You got a matrix wall.
No, you're being ignorant. You're being ignorant. Stop.
Bro.
You're being ignorant. No, you're being ignorant. No, stop. You're being ignorant.
Police.
You're being ignorant. You're being ignorant. Stop. What you was about to say, Tom?
Now, on the sports subject, I know where sports is in our jam. All right, and let me get to where I'm going with this, but it is
your
relevant.
jam, Tom. It's your jam. It's yours.
It is my jam. I love sports.
Man. Listen,
and a few things a few things have happened that kind of relate, I think, back to you guys a little bit. So I don't know if you don't follow this, but fans are back in the stands. Fans are acting crazy. I don't know if you've seen this, but Trae Young got spit on. We had popcorn dumped on Russell Westbrook. We had some crazy fan actually ran onto the court. I've never seen this before at the game I was at the other night. And security tackled him. It was actually kind of cool. But what is wrong with these fans? And my question to you guys, in your line of work, in performing, has anything weird ever happened to you guys on stage? Fans doing something that they shouldn't have?
You really need to be asking Royce's fans, because it goes the other way. It's not how you think. It's not that people do crazy stuff to Royce. It's Royce blacks out and then he winds up being the perpetrator of crazy things to his fans.
Never.
So it's a flip. You know what I'm saying? He throws
Nobody's
on
ever jumped on stage.
He throws on the flash shirt and then he just blanks out.
Nope.
Before you know it.
See. You can go to the flash shirt, but I can't say anything. See, man. See, this is not an even.
It's a double.
We're not on the even playing field here because I can't say anything about Chicago, but he can talk about this imaginary flash shirt that y'all been dragging along since for all of these episodes. It's not even a real thing. It's fake. You made it up. Y'all made it up.
I think that my conspiracy theory, Tom, to your first part. We'll get to the second part about fan stuff, right? But the first part about, I think it's COVID, man. I think people caught COVID, and then it is driving them into this almost Spartan barbaric. That coupled with the people being locked in for so long, and then having COVID, it drove them crazy.
We don't know how to act anymore.
Now they out and they just wild.
They don't know what to do with themselves.
I blame COVID.
It's like letting a bunch of zoo animals out of the zoo, out of a cage, and they just running around everywhere. See, what happened was they shouldn't have tackled them. They should have just let the players get them.
Oh, but this security guard, I mean, his face lit up. He came and tackled this guy. It was a perfect tackle right on the court. The fans, the players were applauding him.
You know what I'm afraid of? If we don't have any fan crazy stories now, we're going to have them soon, right? Because now that same wild fanaticism and craziness that is right now brutalizing the NBA will carry over to some of these concerts and festivals that we got coming up. I
do believe that.
Yeah. But I just want to let a message to the fans. Don't get your ass whooped. This ain't the NBA. Royce got guns.
It's going to come down a little differently.
Bombs,
not on tour.
Jets.
Not on tour. I got them at home to protect my home. I don't carry them on tour. On my tour bus. You know what, man? One time I was on stage. I can't remember where I was. I think I was somewhere overseas. And there was I was performing and I totally didn't see it. And I got told then the whole story by my manager and I think it was my little brother. No, it couldn't have been my little brother. It had to be somebody else that was traveling with us who wasn't performing, who didn't have a microphone, that was totally oblivious to what was going on. But there was a guy on the side of the stage with 2 knives that were about, they said they were like a couple feet, and he was like doing some sort of like dance with them and just was swinging them like this. And Keno was like, he went to go tell him, yo, you can't be right here. And he turned around and he was like, I'm a Sunni Muslim. And he just was swinging the knives and shit around. And Keno couldn't think of what to say, so he just said the first thing to hit him. He said, listen, man, my name is Keno Kamaru. Because that's what his middle name is. So he just found the Muslim in his own name so he can try to make some sort of connection with this dude, because obviously he was fucking scared shitless. And none of the security would tell him he had to leave from off the side of the stage. So Keno was trying to like sweet talk him off the side of the stage. And I can't remember how he ended up leaving the stage, but I never saw him. But the whole time he was just doing some kind of dance. He was under the influence or something. And he had these knives. I don't know how the fuck he got them into the club, but he could have literally killed some people in there. Aside from that, like, I don't got no more story. I mean, I got hit in the head with a water bottle before. But that was about it.
That's really good. Not the water bottle, but the you didn't know there was a circus act going on stage.
The
left?
water bottle actually, the
Jumping fire.
water bottle actually was good too, because if I stood out in the crowd and you gave me 5 chances, I couldn't hit somebody in the head in five tries. I think it was just enough water in the bottle to where you can get a good aim on it. And I saw it coming, but I was drinking. So I was thinking to myself, like, I'm going to slip this. And then I was thinking to myself, damn, I ain't getting out the way fast enough. And it was just like.
And it just, boom. Well, all of the people in the NBA have been arrested and charged.
With what?
No,
The guy that threw the water bottle, I believe, was charged with a felony for trying to hit Kyrie with a water bottle.
Remember the brawl at the Palace in Detroit?
Ooh, I remember that.
All of those guys that were involved in that ended up getting county time. I was locked up with all those guys.
So wait a minute. The actual fans, because who was it? Who was it that ran up into the
Steven
stands
Jackson.
and literally punched the guy? Steven Jackson.
Stack.
That's who it was. Huh. So you got to spend some time with those fans.
I didn't say much to him though.
Do you just like give mics to everybody backstage? Like, is that the whole entourage got mics? Like, you just passing them out before the show? Like, you get a mic, you get a mic, everybody get a mic. That's how many people got mics at
Why
your
do you
show?
say that, Lupe Fiasco?
Because you was like, I don't know if it had to be. You said it had to be somebody who didn't have a mic.
Oh yeah,
I was
because
thinking, like, how many people does Royce give mics to?
Oh no, just me and my little brother, just me and my little brother, and this was so it'd be me and my little brother, but my DJ's mic would be live too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the reason why I said it couldn't have been my little brother is because he may have reacted differently from somebody else, from Keno and them. He might have took that personal.
Out of swords.
Mm-hmm.
Shout to Kid Vicious. I once did Somerset, which is Rhyme Sayers up in Minneapolis. Rhyme Sayers is a independent record company up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they do a festival called Somerset, right? And is it Somerset?
I think it's
Soundset.
Soundset.
You done there?
I think
before?
it's Soundset.
Soundset.
Something like that. Sound Fest or Soundset. Let me look at it.
So anyway, they got this festival up in Minneapolis, and I went up there, and it was like Brother Ali, Ghostface, I think Action Bronson. They just lay it as like a hip hop who's who, right? And so it was super hot, crazy hot, and I remember, and I had on a Bob Marley shirt. That's when I had dreads, and you know, my show's not like a traditional rap show. My show's like, you're gonna get some punk rock, you're gonna get some R&B, you're gonna get some stand-up comedy. I do a whole like thing, right? And I remember it was like super hot, and I remember telling my fans out in the middle of the show, I was like, yo, I need all y'all, I need everybody. It's so hot. We need to pray to whoever controls the rain to make it rain, right? And it was like blue sky, hot, right? And I swear to you, Tom, by the end of my set, it had started raining, wind out of nowhere. So strong that they had to cancel the rest of the festival because the wind started to come in and people were looking like, yo, Lupe has magical powers.
Man,
That's
it's
a pretty good
Soundset.
one.
Nobody else could perform.
Soundset.
Soundset.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else could perform, and a whole storm came, and they had to evacuate the place because the stage was like just in the middle of a field, and the wind could blow the stage down. And all that. They had to evacuate, cancel the concert. Atmosphere didn't even get a chance to perform, and it's their festival.
Well, next time, don't joke around with your powers.
That happened. And I did another festival like that, I think up in Canada. I did not ask for rain from the heavens or storms. I'm a Roro Monroe, the man version. Storm Man. How he's the Flash, I guess I'm Man Storm. Anyway.
Manstorm.
I just wish it would
So we were doing, we did it.
Oh, let it rain. Not really. Not really. Stop rain. Stop rain. Stop rain. That's enough rain.
We did like another festival, and this one was like a big festival where it was rappers and rock stars and singers and all that, right? Techno bands and all that. And a storm, we had performed. It was getting like super windy, super like stormy. We had got off stage, and like soon as we got off stage, the wind came and knocked the stage down. Right, as a band had came on. I think it was like the Go-Go's or like the B-52s or something. It was some like crazy band came on perform. The stage fell down. It fell on top of who's those sisters? It was these country music sisters. What's their name?
You're telling me the stage fell on them?
The stage. So they had their tour bus behind the stage. And the stage fell over and landed on like the tour bus. It was bananas. It was bananas. Yeah, so it was the Blues Fest. It was Cheap Trick. They were performing on stage. The stage collapsed. And I feel like it fell on the Dixie Chicks tour bus. Let me see if the Dixie Chicks were there.
The Dixie Chicks changed their name recently. They're now called the Chicks Only. I don't know why. That's why they didn't come up at first. You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
The Lupe and Royce Show is a production of Say What Media.
Have you thought about hosting your own podcast but don't know where to start?
Working with Say What Media is like having your own personal producer, editor, audio engineer, and distributor, all in one place.
From equipment recommendations to engineering and distribution, Say What Media handles the boring details so you can focus on saying interesting stuff.
Get started at saywhat.media.
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
Are you guys excited to get back on tour?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Talking to me?
Not both of you.
Yes!
Touring can be rough, though, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're out there playing every night.
Absolutely
you're eating crap. You're not exercising.
You're eating crap, and you're not exercising. I'm eating good, and I'm exercising. I actually treat touring as if it's my NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm training for it right now. So I'm getting swole as hell. Look at that muscle, man.
So you actually trained to get back out on tour because you're out of shape probably from not being on. I'm not saying out of shape in life, but out of shape for performing.
I mean, I'm getting older. Touring is harder, so I got to kind of meet it where it is, And the type of show that I do, I have to be in a certain level of physical fitness.
I'm coming out there to see a show. I'm gonna be free because I'm not gonna be touring.
Why not, man?
You got that
Grammy nominated. What are you talking about? You supposed to be on tour.
You're not going on tour when you can?
I don't want to.
Bro, you got a Grammy nominated album. You need to get all of the homies that all got nominated for Grammys, and then you need to do a tour together. They are your homies. That would be a great tour. The Noms. What? Y'all could diss Nas every night. Just do a cipher where you diss Nas for winning, like a hater.
How about I come to one of your shows, and then when you see me in the audience, you shout me out and you diss Nas?
I can't diss my. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. Nah, man. But how come you're not touring? You serious? Or are you joking?
I'm partly serious. Man. I think what I'm trying to say, as I'm being silly right now, because I'm just in a good silly mood. I think what I'm trying to say, what I'm thinking is, I don't really love touring like I love everything else. I don't love touring.
So you don't love going from city to city every night performing in front of a big audience?
I like performing. I don't love touring. Performing and touring is two different things.
Two different things?
Yeah, they are two.
If I can morph onto each stage, I tour all the time.
So it's the travel part that kills you.
You don't like the flights and the logistics?
I don't like anything about touring but standing on stage for an hour. Everything else that goes everything else that goes into it, I hate it.
See, that's why you got to go on tour with me one time, Royce. I'm gonna show you a new way to experience touring, man. It's fun with me, man. We go to antique stores, go to nice little breakfast shops in the morning, pull into the city.
It's not
find that dope breakfast.
It's not
spot,
that I'm bored.
hit
That
the
I get
museum.
bored and can't find anything cool to do. It's not that at all. You talking to an ex-drunk, man. I used to be out there if I could having a good time just sitting in a bar. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't like. You know what I don't like, honestly. I don't like having to get up in the morning. That's a big pet peeve of mine. I'm actually retired from getting up early in the morning, so I don't do that anymore.
Hey, you don't like getting up at all. Like you just would rather not awaken.
Oh,
or
sure.
just
I'll awaken whenever.
at a certain
I'll
time.
awaken whenever. As long as nobody telling me I gotta wake up. As soon as somebody tell me I gotta wake up, then all bets are off. I can wake up 7 in the morning. My daughter can come in, making all kind of demands. That's beautiful. The second I got to answer to an alarm clock, or I got to wake up because I got to be somewhere, I'm gonna reiterate this. I despise it. I retired from it. I retired from that, and I retired from politicking. I no longer politic. Remember we used to have to do that, Lou? You got to get out there and politic. You
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been a senator or I've never ran for office. So
got to get out there and politic. You don't remember they used to tell us we got to politic? You got to get out there and politic, man.
I kind of remember politics.
You got to politic. You got to be out here.
Shuck and jive. Shuck and jive is what I call it.
Your network.
Shucking and jive.
Your network is your net worth. You don't know? You ain't know that? Yeah, well,
Your network.
I retired from all that. So I just rap. I just rap.
So
no tour. No tour on the horizon.
he going on tour.
It just depends. I make my decisions.
Listen, Royce is going on tour, Tom.
I'm not saying that. I'm not.
You can't make a decision like that on the fly. That takes planning
Yeah,
and promotion and a layering of things.
Yeah.
Royce is going on tour, Tom. He's capping right
No,
now.
I'm not capping. I'm not capping.
Hey.
I'm not capping. I'm not capping.
That's why he has on a hat. He's the only one of us now that has on a hat, and it's a cap. He capping right now.
What I'm saying is, I'm not
Royce is
saying
doing
I'm
an
never,
80-city worldwide situation.
I'm never going on tour again. But the right situation comes, I'll have to consider it. But I'm not looking forward. I think the question was, are we looking forward to going out there?
That was.
Some artists love that part of it. You know what I'm saying? We all got our thing that we love. I don't think the average MC.
Lupe.
I don't think the average MC, probably not even you, Lou. I don't know, loves the studio as much as me. I'm here.
What are you talking about? I'm sitting in front of a studio right now. If I pitch up this camera, this is my studio. Look at this. I can't pitch it up. Maybe I can pitch this down. I'm gonna bring my. This is my mic right here. I'm gonna. Whoop, look at that. When I'm done doing this podcast, I'm gonna stand up and start rapping.
You got yourself
and over there is another mic.
But you got yourself a rig at your crib. That's what you got right there.
Yeah, a studio.
This is not your compound in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't go there.
See.
So this is an all-in studio.
I go there. I stay here.
No, this is a studio. Like I'm past that. Man, you gotta have a studio with the kitchen, and you gotta have the gun wall, and you gotta have the rooms, and the B room, and the C room, and the D room. Man, whatever. I never said
none of these things.
Nightstand, a nightstand, and I got my little $200 mic in my garage band, and I be in here making hits.
But I haven't been recording. I just love I love being in here. I love being in the studio. I don't like traveling.
Oh yeah, I hate the studio.
I don't like traveling.
I hate me some studio.
I hate airplanes. I don't care how nice they are.
Wait, so Lou, when you tour,
jets.
are you flying everywhere, or do you have a tour bus?
It depends on how the tour is routed. Sometimes we got a tour rental car.
A tour rental,
and that's not.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm getting to the bag.
That don't
man.
help.
I need to get that walk, bike,
that
train.
don't help the cause. Those Sprinter van tours don't help the cause at all.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we'll just go. See, right now, I'm so I'm minimizing my life, and I call it being like skeleton. So like, we'll just get the skeleton crew. I'll have my assistant, and sometimes I don't even need my assistant. Shout out to Khadijah. and it'll just be me and my DJ. It's like, yeah, we meet at
That's
the
it?
airport. Let's go. Yep, we rent the car. He drive. I might drive after the show, whatever, however we feel. Check into the hotel, go bust the show down, then regroup. It's because it's like that's all you need at the end of the day. You know, like you don't need a bunch of moving parts and pieces. And then I'm not doing like stadiums, so I don't need like trucks and my own stage and stuff like that. I'm doing
Yeah.
little
Just two of you,
clubs and
though,
little
showing
theaters
up?
and venues. Yeah, that's all we need. Keeping it a buck.
I expected
Wow.
more.
Nah. And we'll do like college shows that are in stadiums, but it's like everything's already there. So you just pull up. You may have your sound man, may not, and it doesn't. Just get up there, do what you need to do, and get back. So I've learned to enjoy it because the majority of my life, I've spent the majority of my adult life, or at least half of my adult life, from 20 until now. So what's that? Almost 20 years
In the public eye.
on the road.
On the road?
But on the road, in hotels, you know, sleeping in, you know, Marriotts and La Quinta. Well, not La Quintas. We're not going that far down the hole, but you know, just the random little hotels you see on the side of the expressway, like Lupe Fiasco's in there. You know, they got to drive 30 minutes to the next town to do a show and then fly out the next morning. So that was my life, man. For 10 literally about 10 years of my life has been spent on the road.
I stayed in a couple of quintas in my day. There was a point in time where I wasn't necessarily
I like
wasn't
the La
necessarily on the inner paradigm of the music business. I was operating on the outskirts. Yeah, I was doing, you know,
Yeah, man.
I was doing the 100, 200 people venues, staying at the La Quinta.
Listen, I'm not too. I think people may have like a mistaken understanding of like Lupe Fiasco and like my career. Like I've done everything. I've done everything, and it wasn't on a linear thing. It was everything simultaneously. So I would do like a stadium, then go do like 100-person thing, then go do like then 12 people would show up, then go do another thing, and it's 70,000 people, then go do another, and it was just kind of like so sporadic. And it was like, yeah, one day you'll be staying in the Ritz, and the next day you'll be staying at, you know, La Quinta, you know, as Lupe Fiasco with records on the radio and the whole thing. It was just kind of like whatever works, you know, whatever works.
Which
Now I don't
do
care.
you prefer doing, a big stadium or a small intimate room?
I think the last stadium show I did was with Nas. It was Nas, and AZ. I think it might have been someone else too. And I mean, the thing with stadiums is I can only fill up a stadium by myself in very specific places and very specific circumstances. It is not my norm. My norm is like theaters and houses of blues and stuff like that. Because I don't have these big, massive radio records. So I just have like records. So I can bang out some local venues, maybe a little middle scale situation, but I'm not hitting up where the Bulls are playing. You know, I'm not knocking out NBA stadiums and stuff like that. But so it's different worlds. The stadium is big, it's distant. You know, you're meant to kind of be watched. It's not like an interaction. Whereas with the for at least from my point of view, the smaller joints, they're for interactivity. You know, it's like a deeper, richer connection with the audience, which can be a good thing and a bad thing depending on the night. But stadiums is just distant, like it's just out there. You know, big grand gestures, stuff like that.
Yeah, stadiums are like, it's like big production. You know, like it just feels like a night at the office. You know what I mean? Like you just feel like it's less like you're performing and more like you just up there doing a job and everybody's on cue and wearing in-ear monitors and the crowd is like mad far away, and the only thing really good about it is like you can feel the energy from like all of the screaming and shit like that. But then like the intimate shows, they feel more like the open mics where I come from. You know, so you can touch the people, you can look right at people. You know what I mean? Like if the sound system is good, I prefer the smaller ones. But if it's a small show, but the sound system that's indicative of the venue comes along with it, then no go. Then we talking about, you know, mics with cords. We talking about sound guys with attitudes. You know what I mean? What the fuck do you want from me, man? What do you want? You want me to turn you up?
I like mics with cords.
You do?
I like mics with cords. Yeah, I travel with my own mics. So I have my mics. I actually have my own. I have both setups. So I have a stadium setup with all of the kit, because I used to travel with my whole squad, but lower scale. But we had wireless mics, the whole kind of when you go to a stadium, that setup. And then I got my little cafe setup. You know what I'm saying? Just my little skeleton setup. But I do travel with my own mics. I don't use house mics or other people's mics. Unless it's like, you know, it's just too much of a trifle or it's already kind of set up. But like when I go and do shows, majority of the time now I bring my own mics.
You ever performed at the Middle East in Chicago, in Boston?
The Middle East?
Yeah, it's like a downstairs joint.
I don't think so.
I think it's like 500 people, maybe 1,000 people, somewhere between that.
You ever did what's the name of that place? Is it Frogs or Toads? You ever did Toad's Place in Connecticut?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's done
Toad's Place be off the chain, man. We did some good shows there. My best shows at Toad's Place was with Slaughterhouse. Because, you know, we got that
like
East Coast kind of fan base. You know what I mean? And that place is like, Toad's Place is actually kind of legendary. That's kind of a historic kind of venue, I think. Toad's Place, Middle East, St. Andrews, Blind Pig. They ever had you do Blind Pig?
I don't think so. St. Andrews sounds familiar, but Blind Pig.
You definitely did St. Andrews, but Blind Pig is like up in Ann Arbor. It's like in a college town, and it's like one of the only venues up there. And it's really small, but people still do it for whatever reason, because it's like a classic type of venue.
In Ann Arbor, Michigan?
Yeah.
I know you done Gas Monkey. You did Gas Monkey in Dallas?
Sound familiar.
It's in Dallas. I've done Gas Monkey like 19 times. Like I don't want to do it anymore. But shout to the good folks at Gas Monkey, but goddamn. Book me somewhere else in Dallas, please. But nah, we've done Gas Monkey mad times.
I'm thinking of
that was my thing. I found myself in like loops, going to different places, going to the same place in the same city,
places in
same
each city,
venue, but like a different year, different album, but coming back to the same place. What you saying, Royce?
There's a spot in Houston you just made me think of, where it's like one venue that everybody go, but it's like different rooms based off of how many people you can bring. They got like a small room. I think they got 3 rooms in there. Real big room, medium sized room, then it's a small room. But I've done all 3 of them, or both of them. It's either 2 or 3. I've done all, but the smaller one was like the funnest time I remember having.
How do you maintain like your mental and physical health while you're on tour? I mean, you just said you're performing, then you jump in a car, then you're hitting the hotel. Like, what are you doing to keep that balance?
I mean, I treated it so it depends, because I used to tour. I remember I was on tour one time for like 2 years.
Straight?
Like straight. And we were just taking breaks. And that my thing was I would just come home to pack. That's what my homes are, just like waypoints in a video game. They're like just storage bins from a video game. Because I literally my life was coming in, packing, unpacking, and leaving. And I would be like for a few days, and then I would leave. Right? So I would come home and just like, it would be suitcases, and then you swap things out, spend a little time, and you go back on the road. And I mean, it wears you down. Like, you don't know. Like, I remember I caught pneumonia on tour, didn't know until the end of tour, and then had to go in the hospital for like, was down for like a month or something like that. Then like, Other times it's really good. It really just depends. It really just depends on how you prepare for it, or if you're treating it like if you're just treating it like a job. If you really want to do it, like if you don't want to do it, then it's a bitch. But like if you really want to do it, then it's a different thing. If you're going to places that you really like, right? And if you're traveling with like people that you really like to travel with, so I'll bring my homies out. I remember one time this was recent. I had a shitty tour, and I was just really down. And I think we were in Minnesota, and I came downstairs. The tour bus pulled. We had these tour Sprinter vans that I bought, and came downstairs and opened up the van door, and it was my man Billy Blue, and I remember I just gave him a hug. It was just like I just leaned in and gave him like a hug, because it was just like refreshing to see like, somebody that you actually genuinely like traveling around with and hanging out with. So it's like when you ain't got that and you're like in some random town somewhere, or you're in Europe somewhere, and it's just like that shit just becomes like a grind. But then you're getting paid, so you think about that, and it's like, oh, I do got some money at the end of it. That kind of brightens it up. But I mean, now I treat it like it's a sport, and for me, it's like it's a sport, So I train for it. I train on tour.
It's your season.
And then I get up there. It's a whole. We know what works. There's a comfort level. Expectations are kind of set. It's more of a well-oiled machine. But I treat it like a sport. I don't treat it like a job. But I take that back. I do kind of treat it a little bit like a job, but the job is a sport. I'm getting paid to play a sport. Yeah.
I prefer not to go.
That's what I do.
But it doesn't mean but it doesn't mean that I'm not thankful. So I'm not complaining, okay? I don't want anybody to take the wrong way what I'm saying. I really love the studio. I love the studio. And I love it.
You know what you should do, Royce? You should go to Vegas. You should just get like a residency in Vegas.
Residency. There you
Then
go.
you ain't never got to leave. You can set it up however you
There's
want.
only one problem with that.
Heaven Studio.
Except for it's in Vegas.
I'm gonna sound really difficult right now, but I'm really not. I think Lou knows how to trap me into corners. I hate Vegas.
What?
Vegas is the only place.
What are you talking about? You hate Vegas?
I hate Vegas.
Why?
I don't know. Vegas is the only place.
Because of Tupac?
Vegas is the only place I hate. No. Nope. It's something to do with the casinos and just.
Is it the casino, the sound, everything is constant?
Coming down from your hotel room.
It shakes your Christianity.
Coming down from your hotel room, and it looks like just all kinds of sin is being marketed to you as you walk through the lobby.
See, it grabs him.
Come and gamble.
Christianity, Tom.
Hey, how about a hooker?
I respect that.
How about, it's just a whole bunch of shit going on that I just don't like the way I feel in Vegas. I don't like Vegas. I don't like the weather. I don't like it.
Oof. I'll do a residency for you in Vegas.
I thoroughly enjoy Vegas. And I don't gamble or any of that.
Wait, you don't gamble or drink?
Right.
What else is there to do in Vegas?
You know what? Because it ain't that much to Vegas. It's very small. Everything else is basically like California, outside of the Strip. So the way it's built, the way it's set up, is just like a California kind of suburb almost. Like outside of LA. That's how majority of California is. But I just like the energy, man. I like the energy. I like the vibe. The thing with Vegas and why people do residencies there is because you got the locals, and they'll come out, and that's cool. You have Vegas locals, so shout out to all the fans out in Vegas. They come out, but then, Vegas is a tourist trap. So people are constantly coming in and out, in and out, in and out. So you can get a new crowd every night. If you put on a really good show. We used to have we used to have a residency in Vegas. Shout out to my man Scott Gelati. We used to DJ as a Sound Clash, and we had residencies in Vegas. And it was just like, man. But I beat Vegas up. I've been there tons of times. Got some good homies out there. I think it's cool. But just as an option, Royce. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely
you do one in Detroit.
I definitely don't hate it on some shit where I'm like, I don't understand what people love about it. I clearly can see the likable qualities that Vegas has to offer people. I just don't like. I've never liked the way I felt in Vegas. I went to Vegas and had a good time. You know, got lit up and did a show. You know what I mean? Like, and had a good time. But all in all, the last time I went was a UFC fight I went to sober, and that sealed it. That sealed it. I was like, I knew I wasn't
You
tripping.
don't like Vegas sober. Wait, you don't like Vegas sober?
Yeah, but I was telling myself.
What?
I was telling myself that when I was drinking, and then when I went sober, it was like, oh yeah, I knew I wasn't tripping. I don't like this. I don't like the way it feels.
Oh, I got you.
I don't like the energy.
Good.
It is
got,
different. It's a weird
It's a
energy.
weird energy.
They got good food, great shopping, and just good entertainment.
Great shopping?
You know, if you're going for like, yeah, amazing shopping. Caesar's Palace? What? The shops at Caesar's Palace? Crazy.
Yeah, I never.
But that's when I was in my
shopped.
luxury, make white people rich mode.
I never shopped. I never shopped there because I never got that comfortable enough to shop. I got to be a little bit comfortable to shop, man.
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
Time to give a little shout out to our sponsor, BetterHelp.
I don't know if you caught this, Tom, but we had a dude from Cali call in the hotline a couple weeks ago to rave. I mean, he just couldn't shut up about BetterHelp. After hearing about it, right here on this show.
All right, by all means, please share some choice quotes from the voicemail.
Okay, first of all, Sean from California called you the coolest colonizer at the cookout. That, the CCC, or the CC, the coolest colonizer at the cookout.
I was thinking more the parts about BetterHelp.
Okay. So not the insults and the low blows. Okay, gotcha. Okay, first he says, it blew my mind when I heard your first ad for BetterHelp. Guess he didn't realize we were into that sort of thing. Then he says, I've been using BetterHelp for 3 or 4 months now, and I love it. It's amazing. I'm on my 3rd therapist. You got to find the right one for you, and I feel like I have. I feel like I've got a better quality of life now, and it's only going up from here. That's optimism, is what that's called, Tom.
That is a straight up real endorsement right there. We can't make this up, people.
All right, y'all know the drill. BetterHelp provides professional counseling in a safe and private online environment. We recommend it because it's convenient, professional, affordable, and anything you share with our counselor is on the hush-hush.
Get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Lupe and Royce.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Lupe and Royce.
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
Yo, speaking of sports and mental health and treating it like a job and politicking, what do you think about Naomi Osaka's piece, Royce, about the press? My mind lit up as soon as I seen it, and I was like,
I mean, so what did she opt not to do press because she what's the whole story with that?
Well, it was bigger than that.
Is it?
I mean, she didn't want to do press, and she got fined for not doing it because I guess that's part of your contract when you go to the French Open, and so she withdrew from the tournament because she just didn't want to do it. She had said numerous times that it had a bad effect on her mental health.
Doing press had a bad effect on her mental health?
I think the questions and the way the press comes at you, I think she just didn't want to deal with it. I don't know. What's your take
I think
on
it was more specific to, press in between matches. You know what I'm saying? Like those, how after basketball games they got to come out and speak to the press, and whether you win or lose, you got to show up. I think it was more like that. And she was like, yo, she'd do press at the end, when the tournament is over. But I guess that kind of sporadic little press junkets that you got to do in between matches and stuff like that was what she was kind of averse to.
And she thought it was like hostile
questions.
questions from journalism that are picking her game apart. And she said she struggles with depression and just, but you're right. Between those games, that had to be tough.
That's interesting because I posted some shit the other day, the Kyrie thing, where he was actually doing the post game press, and I guess he was so disturbed with everything that's been going on, like abroad, the whole like Palestine, the whole thing. So he was just like, he was just talking about. the war against war. Period. Like the human. If you're a good human being, you should be against war. Period. And he was just saying that he's distracted by everything that's going on, and he was like, honestly, guys, like I'm not really like focused on like answering questions and shit right now and talking about the game. I'm more concerned with, you know, lives being lost, you know what I mean, like young kid, innocent people dying and shit like that. And like the guys that were interviewing, they were cool. They was just like, okay, yeah, we understand. So they were basically, a longer story short, he was distracted with everything that's going on in the world, and he was more concerned with just humanity. You know what I'm saying? So they was just like, in terms of the players and stuff on the team, I'm not really thinking about the game. I'm more concerned about my teammates making it home safely, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, like the guys that were interviewing them, they were pretty cool about it. They were just like, how do you focus, you know, in the game when you're so distracted with everything that's going on? So what I was taken aback and surprised by was how many people were in the comments upset and offended, talking about, you know, how much money did he agree to receive as an NBA player, and how, you know, like it's standard. People were going as far as like talking like they were the motherfuckers who did his contract for him with like it's in his contract. And then some people were like, how do you know it's in his contract? And people were basically having an argument about rather he should, I guess, not be a human when it's time to be an NBA player, and be a human on your own time. You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of like what the Naomi Osaka thing reminded me of, because I was thinking about her putting her mental health first, and how people just kind of feel like that you're supposed to, you know, when you sign up for a professional sport, you know, you're not allowed to be like a, you know, like a father. Like LeBron can't react to, you know, certain things that are happening, like, you know, with the police and killing unarmed kids and shit like that. Like he can't have like a natural father reaction. He has to be LeBron James at all times. He has to be professional. She has to put her mental health second, you know, to the professional sport. Kyrie can't be Kyrie the human in those moments because of money. And like people were like really emotionally talking about it, like they were emotionally invested in making that point. And it was just a little strange to me.
I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate. Only because, not to the extreme. Like my grandmother passed away, and you shouldn't cry, nigga. Shoot the ball. Like I'm not talking about that. But there is something. That's some cold shit to say to somebody too.
That was cold.
But is there not an expectation? And this isn't and I'm speaking from a person who's been through some horrific shit in the music business with some folks, where I was physically ill, like physically ill, like, and was under doctor's orders to like, hey man, if you fly, you gonna die, type one of those, right? That was like the state of my respiratory system, and it was just a push from the powers that be, from BET and from the record label, to be like, hey man, get your ass on that plane and go down there and perform at Spring Bling.
I remember you was telling.
I was like, y'all don't even care about me. You know, like BET, that ain't even my, y'all, I mean, I won't say that BET doesn't care about me, but I'm not like the quintessential BET artist. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not moving numbers over there for y'all. And they wanted me to perform like one song. And it was like, and if I knew it was only because it was a big record, right? It was one of my big records, and I knew that was the only reason they wanted me to come perform, just because they didn't want me, they wanted the song, right? And I knew that, and it was like I'm saying that in treatment for pneumonia, right? And it was like, nah, man, if you don't come down here, we not playing none of your shit, right? And it was like, this don't even mean anything. Like these people at Spring, they don't even care. Like the people don't care, right? But it's just for the sake of the institution having a power play, or putting up whatever little metrics so they can be tapped in with what is the moment, right, for that song. And it was just kind of like, man, that's like super fucked up, right? And it was one of those moments where I started to not care about the music business, like at all, right? And it was one of those, and I've had many moments like that, but that was one that was like set in stone. That's what kind of triggered when Naomi put her piece out and stuff like that. And it was like this battle between the institution and like, what is my expectation, right?
Wait a minute.
What are
now.
people's?
Ultimately, what did you do?
I had to go perform.
You did perform. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to, because it was like they're not gonna play your shit no more. Like those, and it was just kind of like, damn. Now I gotta roll the dice and risk my life, right, to go down here and do this, right? And I wouldn't have did it if I didn't feel like I didn't feel like if I stepped on the plane I was gonna collapse, right? So I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel like at least comfortable in my health from a health standpoint. But it was one of those things where you would expect like the people to care about you, and like at what level, and then what is their expectation for you to overcome whatever you're going through to perform on behalf of them and also on behalf of yourself for your own self-interest, right? And that was just like, damn, it becomes like, well, what is that line for folks? Is it a mental health thing? Is it a physical thing? Is it a financial thing? Like where do people draw the line in the sand? And then thinking about like, what is all the other shit you sacrificed to get to where you are? Because I sacrificed all kinds of shit to become a rapper. I didn't go to college. Like I threw away like relationships and family time. Like I've literally been on the road for 10 years of my life. Like, and it's just interesting to see like what's the wall that we hit. And the reason I brought up just kind of devil's advocate for that piece, Royce, not to kind of go against or disagree. It's just that it kind of laid bare like, well, when is we as people operating on the highest levels of whatever career path that we in, how much should we be willing to sacrifice to perform in that space? Is it too much to ask for somebody to do an interview? Is it too much to ask for somebody to leave their politics to the side? Is it too much to ask, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
I think it's super, super layered. I think the fans have a different expectation, which they have a right to have that, because I think a lot of them kind of look at viewing professional sports as kind of like their getaway, their escape from all of the bullshit. I want to see all of the shit that's going on in the world that's fucked up. I'll look at the news. I don't want to hear about this shit on this platform. I want to see people who can do this shit at the highest possible level, do that shit and entertain me. You know what I'm saying? So I think being a pro athlete, let me use Kyrie as an example, because that's really what I was taken aback by the most, like the way people were responding in the comments. And one dude in particular, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know if he want to be put on blast like that, but he was just like, yo, if I'm his teammate or somebody like that, and he's talking about not really being focused on the game, like, and it's like we supposed to be here to get W's. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all here as a team, and you saying you're not focused on the game. That's not cool. And I kind of understood where he was coming from. My only thing about that was he played the game. So it would be different if he missed a game and was saying, yo, I'm just not in it right now. It's so much going on in the world. I think you got to be able to rise above that, for the sake of the fans. You know what I mean? Like, probably the same mind frame you were in when you went and did that show, knowing you had no business even getting on the airplane. You know what I mean? And I think they don't necessarily care about you. And I think when you're doing shit on that level, you're not even supposed to look for people who care about you. You know what I mean? Like people that you're in business with, you're there to bring in viewership. I think one thing that a lot of those athletes and shit on that level forget is the value that they bring. And I think a lot of the fans forget about the value that they bring versus what they're being paid. They're so taken aback by, oh man, he agreed to $20 million or whatever it is. But how much money do you think he's bringing to that franchise? How much revenue do you think he's bringing to that city? You would think the guy can at least miss one interview. You know what I mean? Because because he's obviously disturbed with what's going on, in the world. And everybody don't have to understand that. But the whole, yo, man, you supposed to do the post-game interviews. We all watch the post-game NBA shit. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing. You know, they don't talk about anything so fucking special. You know what I'm saying? That the fans missed out on. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, Lou, yes, I think that there is a demand that the fans have a right to expect, and also the corporation. You know what I mean? As fucked up as that sounds, there is a demand. There is something contractually that you're binded to that you have to take in consideration, and you know that's comes along with playing some shit on that level. You got to be able to kind of like put some of that shit aside. But me personally, I would never sacrifice my mental health to do anything, because you can't be at your best. You can't be at your best if you're a fraction of yourself. You know what I mean? Then you're not going to be able to show up. And once you can't show up, then they're going to stick you in the trash like yesterday's news anyway. So you got to show up the best version of yourself. However you can work that out, however you can figure it out, you got to figure it out. Whether it's therapy, it's something. I don't care if you got to bring your dog with you to every fucking city. I don't care if you got to, whatever you got to do, you got to figure that out. But you got to make sure that you show up at showtime, you know, and if you're going to miss something, make sure it's something like, you know, like an interview or something where you can just pay the $15,000 fine and you don't mind paying that price for your, you know what I mean, for your peace of mind.
Mental health.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I would never suggest like, you know, everything's so fucked up in the world, I'm not going to even play today. I wouldn't suggest that. That's kind of not fair. As fucked up as it sounds, everybody seems like everybody should be more understanding, but unfortunately, people just aren't. So, nature is kind of like the nature of the beast.
And with that said, right, Tom, I know you want to talk about the Olympics before we got up out of here, but it's similar. It's a similar thing, but now in mass, right? But with different kind of variation, like a different variable pressure in it, right? Like you got, you know, as advanced as Japan, the nation is, I think their vaccination rate is like 2% of their population is vaccinated, and you know they're expected to hold the Olympics. You know, it got pushed back, and they're supposed to do it this summer. What's that? A year later or whatever.
It was supposed to be last summer, and it got pushed back to this summer. Yeah.
But now there's kind of like a call, because that part of the world, that whole section of the world, so like Southeast Asia, different even parts of China went back on lockdown. I think Guangzhou, big cities. COVID is still a thing there in a real way, right? Malaysia just went on a mandatory 2-week lockdown, and you know you had India still, you know, hit that whole crazy space that it had. And so there's real concern that like that's part of the world is still somewhat unstable. Why would you hold the world's largest sporting event, you know, in a place that where only 2% of the population is vaccinated? And you want to bring in all these people to this country?
Well, I think that's the other thing is now you're literally bringing a representative from every country to one place, and then they're going back. Like, to me, it's not even about, even if it was in the United States, like the idea that we're just getting out of this and we're going to say, all right, let's bring a representative from every single country all to one place just seems insane to me.
I think making money is going to set precedence over everything.
Yeah, but man, you'd think that we would have learned something over the last 18
Did y'all
months.
watch Canelo's last fight? Did y'all even see like a clip of it in passing online? 70,000 people, Dallas Stadium.
Where they were in Texas though, right?
Dallas Stadium.
Yeah, but Texas don't care.
Yeah.
Texas don't give a damn.
And not a mask to be seen.
To
But
your
even
point
so,
though, Royce,
but even so, that's one place, right? That's one like that. This is such a bigger stage.
Shit, 70,000 people
and it's
this early.
Well, I don't disagree with
Ain't
you.
that
Yeah.
enough to tip the
but
scale
Texas
again?
though. But
Yeah, it is Texas, though.
Texas been wide open though. I mean, they've been wide open.
But how about the Indianapolis 500 this past Monday? Didn't they have over 100,000 people in Indianapolis? Wasn't it the largest post or during COVID crowd in the United States?
I mean, hey, and that's the thing when you get into like the layers of it. Like it's outside. The Indianapolis 500 is outside, right? I think it's set up where you can have 250,000 people there, if I'm not mistaken, right? Just on the ground.
So you're saying the percentage
it'd be
was at
massive,
least
right?
Yeah.
That so I mean, and with the Olympics, the thing with the Olympics and money is like the money will come from people coming into the country to watch it and do the tourism thing and all of that stuff. But you're not gonna have that. You would just have the athletes coming to perform, right, amongst themselves. You know, kind of if any crowd, super small crowds, maybe in some cases no crowd at all. But it's really for them to just kind of exercise, you know, again at the highest level in their kind of field or their sport. But there's this whole push to kind of like cancel it. You know, the whole push is just like, you know what? Nah, the pressure, the stakes are too high. This, that, and the third. So I just felt it was kind of like an interesting kind of piece. I wanted to go because I wanted to go see the karate competition.
There's no way you're going to the Olympics.
I was thinking about getting in the Olympics. Breakdancing.
Hey, quick fact though: the Indianapolis 500 had a sold out at 135,000 people this past Monday. It does hold nearly 400,000 during a normal year, though.
Yeah,
so that is less than 50%. You're right.
Yeah, go crazy. Royce, you gonna go for breakdancing? They need to put rap in the Olympics. You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
It's official, fellas. The Lupe and Royce Show is now on Patreon. We have 3 different membership levels designed directly for fans of the show, providing a space for bonus content, priority shoutouts, and responses to your questions. Plus, we got perks like discounts, merch, and early access to news and announcements. If you are listening or watching right now, go check it out at www.patreon.com/LupeandRoyce. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Lupe and Royce.
You're listening to the Lupe and Royce Show with Lupe Fiasco, Royce the 5'9", and Tom Frank.
And speaking of rap Olympics, Royce, your verse on that song. Ooh, God. For y'all don't know, Royce the 5'9" has a song with Ransom.
Oh, thank you.
And he on there floating. He on there doing his best.
Thank you, man.
Lupe Fiasco impression, and I was thoroughly enjoyed the attempt.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Olympic gold worthy.
I like it, man, because writing verses these days are like pulling teeth.
Just cut it out.
It is.
Cut it out.
Stop it. It is. I'm like Kyrie, and I don't mean talent wise. I mean, I'm like Kyrie. I'm just distracted. You know what I mean?
You have other things on your
just
mind.
super distracted. You know what I mean? Like I don't always feel like rapping. You know what I mean? I'm not the same.
Well,
I'm not the same young chap that I used to be when I used to just want to write all the time, just write raps. Now it's just like, what's it for? When you need it?
Well,
I started asking all the questions I used to hate people asking me. When you need this by? Who's gonna be on this?
Well, it was good, sir.
Thank you.
It definitely it set the bar. You had MCs in the flutter. Like, ooh, nice.
Thank you, brother.
So congratulations. Make sure I go get that. Go get what's the name of the song?
It's called,
Royce out raps Ransom. Is that the name of the song?
It's called Greed, man.
Shout
Called Greed.
Shout to Ransom.
Greed.
Don't get a whole mixtape dedicated towards you. You know, Ransom is a full contact MC, bro. He's like us.
Listen, I ain't worried. Have I ever been worried about any rapper at all from anywhere in the world? I want all of the smoke, but not really. Shout to Ransom. Appreciate you, bro.
I want all of the smoke about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't want all the smoke. I want a whiff.
If you diss
a
me,
waft of the smoke in my direction.
just make sure you diss me from 5 years ago. Don't diss me now. That'd be just wrong.
It sound good. Let somebody come out and say Eminem, say something like Royce the 5'9" is better than Eminem. What you talking about? You gonna be all in the comment section throwing shots?
Why would I do that?
Cause I mean, just saying, you be wanting that smoke.
I never ever got into it with anybody for saying anything about Eminem.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
On that note, hey,
That's like
quick announcement though.
Misconceptions, bro. Most common.
nah, okay, the most okay,
People
whatever.
just think that.
We need to get Eminem on the show. Go ahead,
Yes,
go
you
ahead,
do.
Tom, announce it. Go ahead.
Announcement. We're launching our Patreon page.
Boom!
For all the fans out there that want more. They want more bonus content. They want priority shout outs. They want responses to their questions. Maybe they want some perks,
Lupe
like
Fiasco.
discounts on merchandise, early access to news and announcements. We got it for you. All you got to go is patreon.com/Lupe and Royce. 3 different levels.
Masterclass?
Three different options.
Maybe acapella?
Masterclass
might be on
tell you
there.
how good your raps are or terrible they are.
Or how
some
to make an
behind the
egg.
scenes footage, how to make eggs. We got it all. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to the Patreon. We appreciate you in advance for those folks who will come over and be Patreons of the show. We're gonna make it worth
gonna
your
be
while.
fun.
And
Yes.
it won't be a shootout. We promise.
Coming from Detroit.
Yo, this is Lupe Fiasco, and shout out to Naomi, Osaka. Do what you need to do to get right. Can't wait to see you back on the court, young lady. You are an inspiration to us all.
Guard her with your life. Guard Kyrie Irving with your life. This is Royce the 5'9". I didn't vote this year because I had nothing. So that's all I got.
This is Tom Frank. Go Wizards. Big win tonight. I'm predicting it right now. We're going to a game 6. And with that, thank you for listening. And join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Lupe and Royce.
Give him the number, man. Give him the number.
It's 707-276-6261. Leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you thought about the show. And ask these guys some questions. Or maybe me. Maybe the little old me.
Ask Lupe about his haircut.
That's our show for the week.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Lou, you killing me, man. You killing me. It shouldn't be this close. We got Richard Pryor and Playboy. Come on, baby. Chicago. What up, Royce? Tom, what's happening? Later, fellas. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Love the podcast. Shout out to Lupe, Royce, and Tom. I love the discussion, Detroit versus Chicago. And I wanted to give another 2 righteous facts. Nation of Islam started in Detroit when Master Fard Muhammad taught Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in Black Bottom. Great neighborhood in Detroit, and now Nation of Islam headquarters is in Chicago. So that's a great Detroit-Chicago connection. I love you, brothers, and y'all keep up the dope work, man. Peace. We out.
Lupe, Royce, Tom, it's Robert from Chicago. Lupe's been a lifelong fan since the Fahrenheit series. Nothing but bars, man. Keep it up. Royce, I remember hearing you way back in the day in GTA 3. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, but man, some soundtracks to do a little Robin in. Episode 37 was great. Super hilarious. Tom, keep up the good work, keeping the guys in check. All you guys keep up the good work. Can't wait till the next episode.
That's our show for the week. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe or follow. Leave us a review and tell your friends to listen. The Lupe and Royce Show is a production of Say What Media. It's recorded and mixed by Claude Jennings. Our head writer is Lauren Sloat. I'm Tom Frank. And our theme music is by, who else? Lupe Fiasco and Royce the 5'9".